So let's walk through a demonstration of a bunch of different visuals. So we're going to start off with a pie chart and tree map. So I'm just going to do sales, just drag that onto my page canvas here, and we'll do sales by month, let's just say. So I can just drag that onto here, and I'll make this a little larger so we can see. So as you can see, I have sales by month here. And this is, I'm going to switch, these are the different visuals that are available to me up here in this corner here. So I'm just going to switch to pie chart to start off with. And as you can see, September has the most sales of $32,000, and then July is $22,000. So just simple pie chart. I can also do something, create a tree map of the same data. So the tree map visual is this visual here. It says tree map. So I'm just going to once again drag sales onto the report and by month. And we're going to switch that to a tree map. So just different ways to visualize the data. But here's a tree map. So, I can, maybe it stands out a little better now that September has the most sales versus July. But that's a pie chart and a tree map, and I can change the titles and a bunch of other stuff. And the way you would change is under this format tab here. So if I select that, I can go to title and change the title if I want, make things larger. I have a lot of control over the different components of the visual itself. I'm now going to show you table and matrix, what that looks like. So it's very similar. Once again, I'm just going to drag sales onto my report, and I'm going to do by month name. And the table visualization is this visual here. So if I select the visual and then change it to that, as you can see, I have sales by month, which is which is good. And I can do the same thing with a matrix report, which I'll do right now and show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to drag sales by month name again, and I'm going to select matrix. So as you can see, I have the sales by month, but this is month name. I'm actually going to change this from month name to a different column, which is the date. So I can see, as you can see, I have sales all of 2018 here listed. Make this a little larger so you can see what this looks like. But I can actually drill down and go to the next level. So if I drill down on this visual, I can now see I have sales by quarter, and I can expand the entire thing by selecting the visual and then selecting this icon here, which says expand all down by one level in the hierarchy. So when I do that, click again, as you can see, it's almost like a pivot table and you would have in Excel. So I can see sales by quarter and then the month of each quarter, and I can drill down again and see even further by day of the month. So as you can see, very, very powerful visual. You can do a lot of extremely powerful things with this. Line and bar chart, pretty self-explanatory, but I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So sales again, I'm just going to work with the same data, and I'm going to select month name once again. So this is just a simple clustered column chart, but I could do clustered bar chart as well. So let's just select my visual, change that. So just different representation of the same data, maybe a little bit easier to see on one page. We can also do a combo chart. So if I select my visual and then select line and clustered column chart here, I'm able to then also put another data point, which is quantity, onto the line values. And as you can see, it's now showing me my revenue and also quantity by month as an example. So Something else I can do is if I go to Hierarchical Access here and I create a visual with sales by month once again. So instead of month name, I'm going to actually drag the date into here. I'm just going to make this a little bigger so you can see. Now if I drill down, as you can see, I have sales Q1, Q2. Drill down further. So this is what I want, which is concatenated columns here. So if I go to the format of this visual and go to the x-axis, concatenate labels. Without that on, as you can see, it's sort of summarizing, showing me the quarters over many columns. But I like to turn this on so then you can see stuff with the labels all within one column. So a nice little feature to have. So I'm now going to create a visual that's sales by customer. So once again, I'm just going to drag my total sales onto the report. And we're going to do by customer name. And that's not a great visual, so I'm just going to change this to a table for a second, just so you can see what this looks like. So you can see I'm seeing total sales by customer here, still bouncing to my 66,000 total that I had for 2018. I'm able to apply a filter. So right now I'm seeing all customers, but I could easily, so this is in the visualization pane, but I could say, as an example here, I could say only show me air and fit sales or whatever. These filters will apply to the one visual I've actually selected. That's basic filtering. I could use advanced filtering, so I could do things like contains something or does not contain or starts with or does not start with. So I could, do that as well. One of the other nice features here is under filters, I could do top N. So I could say, show me the top X number of customers. So I'll say the top 5 customers sales. And I need to, once again, click apply. I need to actually drag what I'm into the by value field here. So sales, I'm going to drag that in here and hit apply. So now as you can see, it's showing me only the top 5 customers. So, a lot of different dashboards people want to create would be like top 5 customers, top 5 vendors, that type of thing. You could easily do that with this functionality. So once I've clicked off, the filter still stays on, as you can see. Filters only affect the specific visual that you've clicked on once again. Another powerful visual is slicers. So what that is if I have a report, so we're just going to do this exact same thing once again. So do sales. We'll do sales by customer class, let's say, as an example. So I have total sales by customer class, so just make this larger so we can see it. So this is all great, and I can apply a filter and that all works, but I can do something called a visual. So what I can do is I can drag customer class into a column here. So as you can see, I have all these customer classes. And if I select this visual here, which is a slicer, while selecting that visual, this will give me an option. Now I can filter the data on this page or multiple different visuals on a page just with selecting different things. Now if I hold down the control key, I can also select multiple filters, and as you can see, the values are changing in my filter as I select these different filters. The other thing I can do is format a filter, so I can select the filter, go to selection controls, and I can turn on select all. So now I have a select all option available to me. I can also turn off this multi-select with control. So what this allows me to now do is I can select one or multiple of these. As you can see, data is changing as I select these. So very, very powerful. I'm just going to get rid of this slicer, and I'm actually going to change it to be the country. So we're just going to drag country onto here as and I'm going to change that to visual. So once again, exactly the same thing as I had before. I'm just going to go back to selection controls. We're going to turn on the select all. One of the other powerful things I like to do is under general, right now this is a vertical orientation of the slicer. I can change this horizontal. That gives me the buttons option. So then, I can create a dashboard with these sort of buttons on it, as you can see. Drag this up here. And as you can see now, I can select these, and as my visuals are changing, I can say select all. So as you can see, I have the option to create some nice looking reports with slicers. The other thing is under view, I can actually turn on slicer sync. What this allows me to do is it allows me to have one slicer control other pages within my Power BI desktop file. So I can say, I can actually say this slicer is viewable in other pages or controls visuals in other pages just from turning this on. So once again, very powerful to do that. I can also have a date slicer. So it's going to go so same visual on the page. I can change this to be create a slicer. So I'll just show you how I did that. So if I delete that, so we're just going to drag the date onto here. And I'm going to change this to be a slicer. So this allows me to choose, move this around and say I only want to see the data between a certain date. So June, as you can see, the data is changing as I move this around. One of the other nice options is I can click this little drop down here, and I can do things like between two dates or after a certain date. I can get a list of values. Let's select. I can choose this relative option. What this allows me to do is say, show me the last 6 months worth of data as an example, or last month's data, or these are all the options I have available. So last 6 months, as you can see, data is changing, sales by year, by quarter for the last 6 months, and it's showing me the relative values here that are available to me. So analysis pane. So what that is if I do sales, let's do sales by customer class. Large. So then when I select the visual and go to this analytics pane and select, I can now select the visual and do something like I want a average line. So I can add an average line to this. So I'll click the average line, click add, and I want to say, I want to see, change the color of this to be black. So as you can see, it's added this line here. I can do turn on data labels. So it's added the data label for me. I can change the color of the data label to, this red color. And we can make this available to the right. So let's say horizontal position of the graph. So now I can see I have 86,000 or 8268 is my average sales. So pretty powerful visual that's available to me. You can also do something called a scatter chart. So I have a normal chart here, and I'll choose the scatter chart visualization, which is this icon here under visualizations. So it's created a scatter chart for me, but I need to also put something in the y-axis. So I'm going to do, let's say, quantity. So right now I'm looking at sales by customer class, and I'm going to put quantity in the y-axis. So as you can see, this shows me I have an outlier sort of within my data set. So I can sort of hover over this and see that this customer class makes up 26,000 of my sales, and quantity is 74, where most of these are a lot less than that. So that's a scatter chart. I can do something called clustering. So once again, I can do a scatter chart once again. So we'll just do that quickly. I'm just going to drag fields. So by customer class, and we'll create a scatter chart. And I'm just going to move the quantity back into the y-axis. So we have our clustering here. And one of the other nice things is I can drag, let's say I want to put quantity in the play axis, or quarter, but I'll do month here. Let's do that. So when I do that, I get this nice little option available to me. So I can see here's sort of my scatter chart over. Now if I select this play button, as you can see, I'm seeing different values change by month and by quarter. So I'll do that again. As you can see, things are moving around and I can sort of analyze my data. As you can see, I'm only looking at 1 month, but I could do this over a number of years and actually get a fairly good indication of seasonality or that type of thing within my data just by analyzing it this way. You can also do something called focus mode. So what that is if I take sales, let's do sales by customer class. Sure, why not? And then in the top right hand corner, I have this focus mode. So what that does is allows me to just focus on the one visual I'm looking at and analyze it. And I can also do things like, I can sort a different way, or I can say something such as show data. What this does is actually shows me the data that makes up the visual in column. And I can also do, I can actually export out this data. So when I export out the data, it's not going to export out the underlining data. It will export out the just the visual or the data I'm actually seeing on the screen here. So, and I can select export data and save this as a CSV file as an example. So I won't do that just for time purposes, but I could easily do that. So today I showed you a bunch of visuals that are available in Power BI.